My name is Autumn Vale. I am 33 years old. And last Thanksgiving, my parents handed out gifts to every grandchild at the table except mine. My sister's kids each got a wrapped box with a card that said, "To the grandkids who made us proud." My daughter Lily, 8 years old, stared at the empty spot in front of her. My son Sam, 5, asked if Santa forgot him. My nephew looked across the table at my kids and laughed. Guess they didn't earn one. I did not yell. I did not cry. I picked up my children, grabbed our coats, and walked out my parents' front door. And what I did next would cost them far more than a gift bag. My family is small-town Ohio. My father, Frank, retired from county road work 3 years ago. My mother, Diane, runs the Tuesday prayer circle at First Presbyterian and considers herself the social backbone of our street. My older sister, Monica, married a dentist 15 years ago. Big house, 2 German cars, 3 children who have never once been made to feel like an afterthought. I took a different route. Culinary arts degree, married young to a man who was charming in public and controlling in private. He decided when I could see friends. He decided how I spent every dollar. When I found out he had quietly removed my name from our joint checking account, I filed for divorce. I was 28. Lily was 3. Sam was 5 months old. I moved home, rented a 2-bedroom on Oak Street, and started over with a used mixer and a cottage food license. I named my little home bakery Harvest and Sweet, caramel apple pies, brown butter pecan tarts, lemon lavender scones, every recipe mine, developed during late nights after the kids were asleep, in the only room that felt like it truly belonged to me. My parents never forgave me for leaving the marriage, not because they liked my ex-husband. What they could not forgive was the choice itself. In my family, being divorced was worse than being unhappy. At least unhappy kept quiet. The favoritism started slowly. Monica's kids got birthday parties at my parents' house, bounce houses, catering platters, 30 guests singing around a sheet cake with names piped in buttercream. When Monica's youngest turned 7, my parents spent close to $400 on decorations alone. My mother mentioned the receipt at dinner like she was reading from a victory scroll. Sam turned 4 that same month. She mailed a $20 Target gift card. It arrived 3 days late. Lily noticed. Kids always notice. She stopped asking to visit Grandma's house and started asking why Grandma never visited ours. I brought it up once, calmly, over coffee at my parents' kitchen table while the kids played outside. "Mom, the birthday thing, Sam notices, Lily notices." Diane stirred her coffee without looking up. "Monica needs more help, Autumn. Craig works long hours. You have always been the independent one. Take it as a compliment, a compliment." I stopped arguing after that. I stopped expecting. But I did not stop showing up, because every few weeks Lily would look at me with those wide brown eyes and say, "Can we go see Grandma? Maybe she will play cards with me this time." So I reduced visits to holidays only, just enough to let my kids believe their grandmother remembered their names, just enough to keep the peace I was already losing. Thanksgiving morning. The kitchen smelled like brown butter and cinnamon. Sam sat on the counter licking caramel off a wooden spoon. Lily was at the table wrapping a drawing for Grandma in printer paper. A turkey made of handprints, signed in her careful second-grade cursive. I slid my salted caramel apple pie into a carrier, the dish everyone asked about at every family gathering. The one Diane served to her prayer circle friends and let them assume she had made. I never corrected her. We pulled onto Maple Lane, and I saw Monica's pearl-white SUV already in the driveway. Inside, the dining room table was set for 10, turkey in the center, name cards in Diane's looping handwriting. I pulled out Lily's chair and stopped. At my nephew Tyler's place, a small sparkly silver gift bag. At Emma's place, another. At little Bryce's, a third. At Lily's place, her name card and nothing else. At Sam's, the same. I told myself the bags were probably favors for later. I told myself they would hand something to everyone after dinner. I told myself a lot of things that year. Most of them were wrong. Dinner conversation belonged to Diane. Monica's new kitchen countertops. Craig's practice expanding to a second office, Tyler making the travel soccer roster. Every sentence circled back to Monica's family like a dog returning to the same patch of grass. I mentioned that Harvest and Sweet had been accepted for a booth at the Spring Farmers Market. My first real public venue, 3 months of planning. Diane changed the subject before I finished the sentence. Frank, pass the gravy. Monica, tell everyone about Bryce's science project. Nobody looked at me. Lily sat quietly beside Sam. Her fingers kept tracing the edge of her empty placemat. Sam did not notice yet. He was still young enough to believe that if something was missing, it was probably coming later. Before dessert, Diane stood up, smoothed her blouse, and addressed the table like a woman delivering a keynote. Before we have pie, Grandpa and I have something special. A little recognition for the grandkids who made us proud this year. She walked to Tyler's chair first, a gaming headset, $80 retail. I knew because Sam had circled it in a flyer the week before. Tyler grinned, Emma next. A jewelry kit with real semi-precious beads. She squealed. Diane beamed. Bryce, a Lego architecture set. He tore the bag open and dumped the pieces on the table. Then Diane sat back down, folded her napkin, and picked up her wine glass. That was it. Sam looked at me. His bottom lip did not tremble yet. He was confused, not hurt. He leaned close and whispered, "Where is ours, Mama?" I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. Lily did not ask, she already understood. She pulled her handprint turkey drawing halfway out of her jacket pocket, looked at it, and pushed it back in. She was not going to give it to Grandma anymore. Tyler put the headset on, adjusted the band, looked at Lily, then at Sam, then laughed. Guess they didn't earn one. Nobody corrected him. Monica examined her wine. Craig studied a spot on the wall. Frank stared at his plate. Diane sipped and said nothing. The room was silent except for wrapping paper and the hum of the football game down the hall. And my 5-year-old son's face slowly shifted from confusion to an understanding no child should have to learn at a dinner table. I looked at Lily. She had her hands flat in her lap, the way she holds them when she is trying hard not to cry. I looked at Sam. He was staring at Tyler's headset with an expression I recognized. The same face I used to make when my mother forgot my school recital. I looked at my mother. She was cutting her turkey with the satisfaction of someone who believed she had just taught a very important lesson. I stood up slowly, pushed my chair in. Lily, Sam, get your coats. Diane set her knife down. Autumn, sit down, you are overreacting. Get your coats, baby, we are going home. I walked to the counter. My pie sat exactly where I had placed it 45 minutes ago, untouched. Nobody had sliced it. Nobody had served it. Nobody had even moved the carrier to make room. I wrapped it in the tea towel I had brought and tucked it under my arm. Frank half rose from his chair. Come on, Autumn, it is Thanksgiving. I looked at him. Not for us, Dad. Lily slid off her chair, took Sam's hand, and reached into her pocket. She pulled out the handprint turkey drawing, folded it quietly, and put it back inside. She walked toward the front door without looking back. Nobody followed us. I buckled Sam into his car seat. Lily clicked her own belt. I started the engine and backed out of the driveway. I expected someone to come outside. A voice. A hand on the window, something. The porch light stayed on. The door stayed closed. The drive home took 22 minutes. Sam fell asleep with his cheek against the window by minute 5. Lily sat still, staring at the road. She did not speak until we pulled into our driveway. Mama, why does Grandma not like us? I turned off the engine and sat in the dark for a moment. Grandma is confused right now, baby. That is not your problem to fix. Inside, I stood in my kitchen for a long time looking at my phone. I opened the family group chat and typed it short and final. Don't invite us again. We're not your joke. I paused, then added one more line. Your gift is on the way. I did not know what that meant yet. I pressed send anyway. Within 30 seconds, 4 missed calls. Diane's explanation arrived the next morning in the group chat. 4 paragraphs, perfect punctuation, as if she had drafted it in a Word document first. The gifts were for academic achievement. Tyler made the honor roll. Emma won the district spelling bee. Bryce received a citizenship award. It was meant to be motivational. We were hoping it would inspire Lily and Sam to work harder. Sam is 5. His greatest academic achievement this year was learning to zip his own jacket. Frank sent a private message. "Your mom didn't mean to hurt anyone. Come for Christmas, we can talk." Monica texted, "If your kids were in more activities, they would have gotten something too. Don't blame mom for your choices. I read every message twice. I saved every screenshot. I did not respond." December came quiet. I threw myself into Harvest and Sweet. Holiday orders doubled from the year before. 73 orders in 3 weeks. Pumpkin ginger tarts, cranberry almond biscotti, my salted caramel apple pie. The same one that sat untouched on my parents' counter. Now selling 4 deep every Saturday from my kitchen. I applied for the farmer's market booth. I upgraded my cottage food license to a full food handler's permit. 12 hours of classes, $65. A laminated certificate I stuck on the refrigerator next to Lily's spelling test and Sam's finger painting. Christmas Eve, a card arrived from my parents addressed to Lily and Sam, not Autumn. My name was not on the envelope. Lily looked at the card, then looked at me. "Mama, Grandma forgot your name." She didn't forget. Grandma is upset with me, baby, and that is not your problem to fix. January. Another mother at Sam's preschool stopped me at drop-off with a look I could not quite place. "I heard about your Thanksgiving," she said. "Your mom told my mom at church." Over the next 2 weeks, the shape of it became clear. Diane had turned the walkout into a narrative spreading through First Presbyterian like a hymn. Everyone already knew the tune too. Autumn abandoned the family on Thanksgiving and broke her mother's heart. She will not let Diane see the grandchildren. She is punishing her parents for loving Monica's children. Not one word about the gift bags. Not one mention of what Tyler said. Not one acknowledgement that 2 children under 10 sat at a table and received nothing while their cousins were celebrated 6 feet away. Orders slowed. 2 regulars canceled. One texted, "Sorry, I just don't want to get in the middle of anything." Revenue dropped 19% in 3 weeks. My mother was not just trying to guilt me back into the fold. She was poisoning the water I needed to drink from. Then Patty, who owns the flower shop on Main Street and buys 2 dozen lemon scones from me every Friday, sent me a screenshot with no comment. Just an arrow emoji pointing down. Monica's Instagram, a brand new account, Lawford Kitchen, custom cakes, pies, and pastries for every occasion. The bio said, "Family recipes made with love." The color scheme was warm golden cream, close enough to mine that it could have been a sibling. I scrolled through the posts. Salted caramel apple pie, brown butter pecan tarts, lemon lavender scones. Every single item from my menu, photographed on marble countertops that cost more than my rent. Comments glowing. "Do you deliver? I love that you are keeping family traditions alive." And Monica's reply every time. "Thank you so much. My grandmother taught me. Our grandmother did not bake. She lived in Dayton and played bridge. She died when I was 12. She never once stood in a kitchen with either of us. I checked the county food license database. No listing for Lawford Kitchen, no cottage food permit, no food handler's certificate. She was operating without a single piece of paperwork, but the thing that made my hands shake was the last post. A photo of her version of my salted caramel apple pie, the recipe that took me 14 test batches and 3 months to perfect, with a caption that read, "A recipe that's been in our family for generations." Beneath it, one comment from Diane Townsend, "So proud of my girl." 6 months earlier, when I had asked my mother to share my bakery flyer with her church group, she had told me, "We can only invest in one family, Autumn." Now I understood exactly what she meant. February, I called a small business attorney named Rachel Kim. Her office was above a dry cleaner on Route 9, and her initial consult was free for 30 minutes. I did not walk in with a thin folder. I brought documentation. My cottage food license with Harvest and Sweet registered 2 years prior. 153 time-stamped order receipts. 28 Instagram posts dating back 22 months with original recipe photos. My culinary school notebook, handwritten and dated, with every recipe iteration. Screenshots of Monica's posts using my exact menu items and the false claim about our grandmother. A spreadsheet of canceled orders with names, dates, and reasons given. And every message from the family group chat, beginning the night of Thanksgiving. Rachel flipped through it with the calm of someone who reads bad news for a living. She looked up. "You have been building this case for 2 months without knowing it." I had. Here is what I knew that morning sitting in that office above the dry cleaner. I had not walked out of my parents' house in anger. I had walked out with clarity. I had spent 5 years watching my children be quietly erased from a family that claimed to love them. I had watched my mother celebrate one daughter while barely acknowledging the other existed. I had watched my recipes, my late nights, my 14 test batches, get photographed on marble countertops and credited to a grandmother who never baked a day in her life. And through all of it, I had kept showing up. I had kept bringing the pie. I had kept letting my daughter believe her grandmother might play cards with her this time. I was done pretending. The texts from my mother still came occasionally. "You are destroying this family. Think of your children. They need their grandparents." I read them in the same way I now logged canceled orders. Calmly, methodically, with documentation. Lily asked me once after Christmas if we would ever go back to Grandma's house. I told her the truth softly. "Not right now, baby," she nodded. She went back to her coloring book. Sam taped the Target gift card to the refrigerator like a trophy. He was 5. He did not yet understand exclusion. I hoped he never would, but I knew better than most that children learn what they live. What my children would live from here forward was a kitchen that smelled like brown butter and cinnamon. A mother who showed up. A table where every seat had something on it. The farmer's market booth was confirmed for April. My full food handler's permit was laminated on the refrigerator. My attorney had sent a formal cease and desist to Lawford Kitchen citing recipe appropriation, misleading attribution, and unlicensed food operation. Monica's account went dark 3 days later. Diane never called to apologize. Frank sent one more private message. "I hope someday you can forgive us." I read it. I saved it. I did not respond. Because here is what none of them understood that Thanksgiving when my daughter folded her handprint turkey drawing and put it back in her pocket. She was not defeated. She was deciding. And so was I. "Your gift is on the way." The night I sent that text, I did not know what it meant, but I know now. It meant that everything they handed to other people at that table, the recognition, the investment, the pride, I was going to build it myself. One order at a time. One late night at a time. One recipe at a time. And when April came, and I stood behind my booth at the Millfield Farmers Market for the first time, with my salted caramel apple pie lined up in the front row, and Lily and Sam beside me wearing matching aprons, a woman stopped, took one bite of a sample and said, "Where have you been all my life?" I smiled. "I have been right here, just not where everyone could see me, not yet."